partly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow, a little bit colder.
Good morning. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show, and Happy New Year also to you. It's this will be the first show of the new year, and unfortunately, a lot of the news is not good this morning. Some really terrible events that occurred over the New Year's holiday. So let's get to it. Great to have you along.
The Doctor of Discernment is on the air.
I love the Greg Belfrage Show.
I've been listening to you for years, Greg. Thanks for all you do and keeping us informed.
You sound a little taller on radio.
Dispensing a daily dose of common
Been gone
sense.
so long,
No prescription required.
Got to get comfortable again.
And will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I don't believe in the no-win scenario.
This is the Greg Belfrage.
Good morning, my friend. The marketplace of ideas is open. It is great to have you along. Here we are, January 2nd of 2025, and I wish we had better news to talk about today. Unfortunately, as you may have seen over the New Year's weekend, you had a man intentionally drive a pickup truck into the crowd in New Orleans early on New Year's Day, killing at least 15 people now. Dozens of others have been injured. The truck had a black ISIS flag flying from the rear bumper. And this is an act of terrorism. That's how it's being investigated, according to the FBI. So the man behind the wheel was Samsud-Din Jabbar, 42-year-old man from Texas. He's a U.S. citizen, had served in the U.S. Army. And so President Biden then appeared in televised remarks last night, said the FBI has determined that just hours before the attack, Jabbar posted videos to social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. And now they're looking into, who else was involved in this, that he, the idea that he did not do it all on his own, that he may have had others who were working alongside with him. So he was driving a rented electric Ford pickup truck, and I'm trying to get to the nuts and bolts of what's going on. It's pretty crazy, and one of the things I think that's already many people are recognizing is that our federal law enforcement agencies and what's going on with this, they're involved in all of the wrong things rather than law enforcement. We need to see a return to law enforcement. And I just fear what you and I may, learn as time goes on. So the Louisiana's Attorney General said, in Louisiana, we have the death penalty and we will carry it out, she said. So she had posted that on X just hours after the attack had occurred. Donald Trump reacted to it also on True Social. He called the U.S. a disaster, a laughingstock all over the world. This is what happens when you have open borders with weak, ineffective, and virtually non-existent leadership. Now, again, this guy was a U.S. citizen. So he's a 42-year-old guy from Texas, a U.S. Army veteran. Trump also had blasted the Justice Department, the FBI, local prosecutors. He said they are incompetent and corrupt, having spent all of their waking hours unlawfully attacking their political opponent, me, rather than focusing on protecting Americans from the outside and inside violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government and our nation itself, he said. Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen to our country. Called on the CIA to get involved before it's too late, Trump said. The USA is breaking down a violent erosion, and this is, I fear this is what a lot of us have been worried about, that we see the United States breaking down. And this is what Trump says: a violent erosion of safety, national security, and democracy is taking place all across our nation. Said only strength and powerful leadership will stop it. See you on January 20th, Donald Trump said. So the New York Post is reporting that the suspect at the heart of this 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar had made videos where he confessed to planning to murder his family, claiming that he joined ISIS. And there were at least 3 improvised pipe bombs that were found nearby in the French Quarter of New Orleans, including one in his truck. 2 were homemade with nails hidden in blue coolers, according to the New York Post. So again, this is why some are saying that there were others that were involved in this. Did he have the ability to hide these all on his own, or were others helping him? It certainly is going to, I think it's a reasonable conclusion to assume that others were helping him. So one woman said, I saw the truck parked outside the house earlier Tuesday. Never saw the flag, she said, of the ISIS flag. She said, I'm always paying attention to who was staying next door, so I know for sure it was his truck, she said. So just a pretty devastating scene. So again, Donald Trump on True Social called it an act of pure evil. He said, our hearts are with all of the innocent victims and their loved ones, including the brave officers of the New Orleans Police Department. The Trump administration will fully support the city of New Orleans as they investigate and recover from this act of pure evil, he said. And he said, when I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has ever seen before, he said. The president also spoke yesterday regarding, this was after the news, he spoke, I think last evening, and the president said the FBI is leading the investigation to determine what happened, why it happened, whether it was any continuing threat to public safety. Here's what we know. So far, the FBI has reported to me the killer was an American citizen born in Texas. He served in the United States Army on active duty for many years. He also served in the Army Reserve until a few years ago. The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill, he said. The ISIS flag was found in his vehicle, which he rented to conduct the attack. President also said possible explosives were found in the vehicle as well, and more explosives were near were found nearby. He said, the situation is very fluid. The investigation has a preliminary stage. So all of that was done with nobody being aware of what he was up to, and he's out there on social media. So the former mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu, was on CNN yesterday, and he said that the attack was not just an attack in New Orleans, it was an attack on America herself. It's a day where our hearts are heavy, and of course, everybody's thoughts and prayers go out to the incredible victims. Thanks to the law enforcement officers who ran to the fire and took this guy out, because it could have been exponentially worse, he said. And then again, I think some of this, he said that this guy is an American citizen who we believe was from Texas, and unbelievably has some kind of military record, which he does. So that was in New Orleans. Meanwhile, you had a Cybertruck, a Tesla Cybertruck, explode outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. And there are suggestions or questions, I think, that folks are raising as to whether these two events are linked. Were the two are there connections between the two? Because the man who was involved in the Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas apparently was also in the Army. And so there are questions. Did these two men know each other? Did they plan this together? And investigators are already looking along those lines. But as far as in Las Vegas, the only person who was killed was the man in the Tesla Cybertruck. So he was inside the vehicle. 7 people suffered minor injuries. There were gasoline canisters, large firework mortars that were found in the back of the vehicle after the explosion. Did you see the explosion? As I saw that yesterday, wow, absolutely. I mean, it was something incredible. So, and it happened about 15 seconds after the vehicle pulled in front of the building. And early stories were saying they don't know how it was ignited at this point. So the truck was rented in Colorado, arrived in Las Vegas. We do know yesterday morning, and they said, we know rented the truck. We're looking at that individual. And at the time of this report, they were not releasing the name. So the mayor of Las Vegas is saying that police and city marshals will remain on extra alert. This is just wild. And Elon Musk even responding to some of this. Elon Musk posting on True Social about the truck, that the Tesla truck was used, and he posted on X. He said, we now confirm that the explosion was caused by very large fireworks and or a bomb carried in the bed of the Cybertruck, is unrelated to the vehicle itself. And in fact, Musk saying that the vehicle itself likely actually limited the explosion because of the way that the vehicle is built. And I was on Elon Musk's X account, and he's saying, this is the worst choice of a vehicle was the Tesla Cybertruck because of the way that the thing is built. So it was not the truck that exploded. It was fireworks and so on that had been poured. And so Musk said the evil knuckleheads picked the wrong vehicle for a terrorist attack. Cybertruck actually contained the explosion and directed the blast upwards. And he says not even the glass doors of the lobby were broken. And this thing was right outside of the hotel. And Musk is absolutely right. The blast had, a lot of it had gone up. And you've got even the Las Vegas sheriff, Kevin McMahill, was on Fox News last night. And he said, what I would like you to pay attention to on that video is you see that it looks like the exterior of that truck is completely intact as it sits there. The fact that this was a Cybertruck really limited the damage that occurred inside of the valet because it had most of the blast to go up through the truck. So up through the truck and out. He said, in fact, if you look on that video, you'll see that the front glass doors at the Trump Hotel were not even broken by the blast, which they were not. So now investigators are looking into whether there's some kind of military connection between the suspect in the New Orleans attack and then the driver of the Cybertruck explosion outside a Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. So we likely will be learning more. So the suspect again in the New Orleans attack was from Texas. He was an Army veteran. And two law enforcement sources told NBC that the suspect in the Las Vegas blast had previous military experience. So whether the two knew each other, there are some connections because they both had rented vehicles through Turo, which is a car sharing app. So Turo is like many of us, just mortified by what they're learning and what we're seeing as a result of this. And as I mentioned, the president making comments last night, he said investigators are looking into whether these two incidents could be connected. Biden said, we're tracking the explosion of a Cybertruck outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Law enforcement and the intelligence community are investigating this as well, including whether there's any possible connection with the attack in New Orleans. So this is just absolutely incredible. Those are big stories this morning. Other stories that are out there, the FBI found more than 150 homemade bombs during a raid on a farm in Virginia when they arrested a man on a firearms charge, according to prosecutors. So the man apparently used pictures of President Biden for target practice. The FBI found bombs in a detached garage and in a backpack in the home's bedroom that were labeled #NoLivesMatter, which is a movement that promotes violence. Also, you had a fireworks explosion in Hawaii that killed, I think, 2 people. Yeah, 2 people are dead, 20 people are injured. This is after a fireworks incident in Honolulu that happened. And they said, really not a lot of details other than announcing the injuries and the deaths. So the video that was captured by and posted to Instagram appears to show dozens of fireworks exploding in a massive bright fire about the size of a house, with plumes of smoke rising into the air. The inferno appeared to explode on a resident's front lawn. So police and fire officials are looking into that. They immediately responded to that. Also, Donald Trump was sharing his New Year's resolutions yesterday, and he told Newsmax, I just want everybody to be happy, healthy, and well. That's he and Elon Musk were also they were out celebrating New Year's Eve, and the two of them were dancing together. And that's a quick look at the big stories this morning. We'll have more on all of these as we take a look at trending stories for you coming up here also this morning. I also want to remind you that you will be able to donate blood today, starting here in minutes from 6:30 until 10 today at our downtown Sioux Falls studios. The Heroes Behind the Badges blood drive continues, and one of the blood mobiles is right outside our building. So you'll find us at the corner of 13th and Phillips. If you've got time today to make a donation of blood, we would love to have you here 6:30 until 10 a.m. And everybody who donates receives the Heroes perks, so a Heroes t-shirt, as well as more. Plus just an incredibly warm feeling, I think, every time you donate blood. So that'll also be going on today. So that's a quick look at things that are happening this morning at 6:27, partly cloudy, 19. You're listening to the Greg Belfrage Show on Kello.
Camp and Robbins, weekdays at 2. Kello, News Talk 1320, 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is sponsored by Tires, the Give You More Tire and Automotive Store.
Bring charm from the outdoors into your home with Renewal by Anderson Picture Combination Windows. Optimizing a beautiful view and light in the bedroom, kitchen, or living room from ABC Seamless of Sioux Falls. Call 605-646-2667 today.
It's really heartbreaking news to see what happened over the New Year's holiday. I was watching that yesterday and seeing that footage. Really distressing.
Galleria location, 41st and Louise, Sioux Falls. Okay, Matt, fill in the blank. Happy new inductor cone. Nope. Happy new set of spray tips. Y drops, Raven monitor. This isn't that hard. I don't know, Chad. With all the products at CNR Supply, how am I supposed to guess? Happy new year, Matt. CNR Supply would like to wish everyone.
And if you do get a chance, I really do want to invite you to drop down to our studios. We're at the corner of 13th and Phillips, and the Blood Mobile. Our front door will be open, so you'll be able to come into front of our building and sign up and go through some of the preliminaries, and then make a donation. So that'll be going on today at our place, at least this morning. And you'll get a Heroes t-shirt, free appetizer, Hy-Vee certificate, and more. So I hope you'll come down to our studios. We're right at the corner of 13th and Phillips in downtown Sioux Falls, and make a donation of blood. I would very, very much appreciate that.
You weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance.
Okay.
$2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GetETH.
6:30, partly cloudy and 19. You're listening to the Greg Belfrage Show. Headlines from the Kello.com News Center. Coming up here for you in moments, we'll check in on Fox News Radio, give you the latest on that New Year's Day explosion in St. Louis. This hour brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99.
New Orleans to a New Year's Day truck explosion outside Trump International Hotel in Las
Wow,
Vegas.
I haven't been here for a while. I can tell. It's going to take me a few minutes to get back into the flow of what's going on.
The person was killed in the explosion outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. 7 others were injured. Authorities say they found gasoline and camp fuel canisters, as well as large firework mortars in the trunk.
Fox's Chili Painter, at least 12 people are shot and killed in Montenegro.
Among the dead, a bar owner, his 2 children, and other family members. Attacker Adso Martinovic fled, but was later surrounded by police and killed himself with a shot to the head.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox News.
Kello News Time, 6:31. I'm Joe Bowman in the Kello.com News Center. A Sioux Falls man is in custody following a hit and run nearly 3 weeks ago. 36-year-old Ali Ibrahim Hassan was arrested Monday and charged with the death of Veronica Lynn Honkamp Martin. Police say that in the early morning hours of December 14th, the 28-year-old Sioux Falls woman was sitting in the roadway with her hands raised in the air when Hassan's vehicle hit her. Police allege Hassan drove for some time with the woman stuck under the vehicle. A man accused of making threats outside a Sioux Falls Walmart is facing charges. Patrick John White Buffalo was arrested Monday for making terroristic threats. White Buffalo was outside the Walmart on Louise Avenue Monday evening when he allegedly called in and said he had a gun. Police say he struggled with officers and yelled that he had a bomb. He's also accused of obstruction, resisting arrest, and making a false report. Republicans in Washington are gearing up to go to work on the Trump agenda. Their ability to do that hinges on the election of the House Speaker's position on Friday. South Dakota Representative Dusty Johnson says current Speaker Mike Johnson is the man for the job.
I think Mike Johnson's in a good position to be elected Speaker, but I mean, let's not kid ourselves about the facts on the ground. Republicans have a very tight margin, just a couple seats to spare, and we've also got plenty of unpredictable numbers.
It appears river otters are making a successful comeback to the Sioux Falls area. A local man spotted a family of river otters along the Big Sioux River near the Sioux Falls bike trail and sent in photos of the critters to a local TV station. Otters all but vanished from South Dakota more than 100 years ago, but were reintroduced in the late 1990s near Flandreau. And in college basketball, Summit League action starts tonight on the road. For the Coyotes, the men's team play Kansas City, the women's play Denver, and the Jackrabbits women's team take on Oral Roberts. All 3 games tip off tonight at 7. From the Kello.com News Center, I'm Joe Bowman.
The news never stops. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Partly cloudy skies today in the Sioux Falls area. Our high temperature at 26 with a north wind at 5 to 10. Tonight, partly cloudy, low at 6 degrees. And then tomorrow's high, a little bit colder. High around 19, northwest wind 5 to 15. Still a chance of light snow as we head into the weekend. High on Saturday at 14. From the Storm Center at Kettleland TV, I'm Brian Karstens.
You have the power of information, entertaining talk, news when it happens. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
Today, let's push ahead with more of my top 2025 New Year predictions. I'm Kim Commando for LinkedIn Jobs. Post a job for free and find qualified candidates quickly at linkedin.com/Kim. Even though the new president and Congress will roll back the EV mandates and gas prices will fall sharply, Waymo, the self-driving taxi, now operating in San Francisco, LA, and Phoenix, will expand to Atlanta, Austin, and many more cities. And as for our personal cars, even lower-priced economy cars will see what's called L2 level automation. That's where the car assistant lane keeping, steering, and braking. Healthcare moves to 3 distinct areas: acute care when you're hurt or ill, research, and longevity care. For instance, AI will analyze photos of what you eat to predict your blood sugar levels throughout the day, and long-term health risks with spot-on accuracy. For those with diabetes, look for continuous glucose accuracy, measured second by second, all ahead in 2025. And stay up to date with my free newsletter at getkim.com. Growing your small business in 2025 all comes down to how well you can hire. Better hires start with smarter insights. LinkedIn has the strongest hiring data and insights to help you identify the right candidates so you can make the best hiring decisions. LinkedIn knows hiring is a big deal for small businesses because every hire is crucial for a growing company. That's why LinkedIn pairs you with the best candidates using data you won't find anywhere else, from unique skills and interests to the connections you have in common. Based on LinkedIn data, 72% of SMBs using LinkedIn say that it helps them find high quality candidates. In a given week on LinkedIn, 171 million members aren't actively seeking jobs, but are open to new opportunities. Find your next great hire on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn.com/Kim.
The Kim Commando Show, live Saturday mornings at 9. Kello News Talk 1320 107.9.
The Kello Hotline is sponsored by Tires, with 2 locations to make sure you have the proper traction this winter.
Enroll in Farm Bureau Financial Services Driveology, and you'll instantly save 10% on your auto insurance premium. Over time, your safe driving habits could earn you even bigger savings, up to 50%. Learn more and start saving with Driveology at fbfs.com/save. 10% savings applied at enrollment for select coverages. Future savings based on individual driving behaviors and varies by coverages selected. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now, you can try it for free.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you, buddy?
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate
I
it.
love it. I love the pictures. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I appreciate it, Ken. Well, I'm glad you guys are here and just getting ready to talk about you.
Already.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. See you later.
You betcha.
I brought donuts if you want.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right. The first
That was Ken Versteeg of Community Blood Bank.
on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Weather brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
Winter in South Dakota is one big question mark.
What's it gonna be like today?
How bad are the roads?
Will I be able to wrestle my kid into those snow pants?
Get most of the answers you want with up-to-the-minute forecast and the latest road conditions on Kello News Talk 1320 107.
6:38, partly cloudy and 19. Good morning. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Greg Belfrage Show. It's nice to be back. Great to have you along this morning. We want to invite you down to our studios this morning. Ken Versteeg just stuck his head in the door here. The Bloodmobile is here at our studios, so you can drop down to our studios at 13th and Phillips until 10 a.m. today. So the Bloodmobile will be here until 10 a.m. You can just come into our front door at 500 South Phillips. We're right next to the El Ride Shrine Mosque. So just come in, right in our front door. There'll be folks there to get, go through everything with you before you make a donation. And if you've been through it before, it's quite easy. So they'll get you registered. And if you make a donation of blood this morning, you'll receive a Choice of Heroes t-shirt, a free appetizer from Texas Roadhouse. You get a Hy-Vee certificate, and 2 tickets to a Sioux Falls Skyforce home game. So plus just, I think, an incredibly warm feeling knowing that you're benefiting the community and you're doing something great to help out others who need blood. So please come down to our studios today. We're at the corner of 13th and Phillips. It's 500 South Phillips Avenue today until 10. And make your donation. This hour of the Greg Belfrage Show brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
What's trending now?
Add them on Facebook.
Let the tweeting begin.
Oh, man.
Does that. News and views from Belf's News Gallery.
Well, the big story this morning is the attack in New Orleans that has the 15 people were killed, dozens of others injured, and a man has been identified, a 42-year-old man from Texas, Samshuddin Jabbar, been identified as the being behind this. The president saying last night it appears that this man was inspired by ISIS, and he, as you can imagine, on New Year's Day, and you got folks there celebrating the New Year early than yesterday morning, and the superintendent of the New Orleans police said it was very intentional behavior. He was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did. So the FBI has also said they're investigating the incident as an act of terrorism. The president saying, the FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos to social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. And there are just a host of stories revolving around this story. And a number of media outlets are asking, who is this guy? Who is Samshuddin Jabbar? You know, what we know about him. He was, again, a U.S.-born citizen who lived in Texas. And authorities have made that clear in their news conferences yesterday. He's also an Army veteran. We believe he was an honorable discharge. They're working, they're trying to double check and make sure. He was awarded a variety of medals, and he was honored. I mean, his awards included the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, the Army, which is ironic to say the least, the Army Commendation Medal, Army Achievement Medal, Good Conduct Medal, Army Reserve Components Achievement Medal, and on and on. And so he'd received awards. And again, he was a U.S. citizen. So 15 people that were killed. As of now, that's what the latest figure is, 15 people that were killed, and about 35 others who had been injured. So the man was born in Houston in 1982, only held a U.S. passport since 2012. Also, we're learning, and I expect that we're going to be hearing a lot more throughout the day about who were the victims. Who were the victims? One of them was a former college football star, 28 years old. One was a high school senior, 18, who are among the victims. And again, I expect that we'll be learning a lot more as today goes on. Also, the Sugar Bowl has been postponed because of this. The All-State Sugar Bowl was postponed. It was supposed to have taken place yesterday. Instead, it will be played today. And there's a lot of attention then on in sweeps that have been conducted to make sure that the Caesars Superdome will be safe for those who attend. So it will be taking place today, I think, at with the 3 p.m. local kickoff time. Also, Elon Musk, and I mentioned this a little bit, Elon Musk has been talking about the Tesla Cybertruck then that with the explosion outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas, Musk said it was a bomb or very large fireworks. He said that the Cybertruck explosion likely an act of terrorism. And again, it was not the car. Not the car at all. In fact, the fact that the man had used a Tesla Cybertruck may have stopped anyone else from being injured. He was killed. The driver of the vehicle was killed, but nobody else was. I think there were some other injuries, but nobody else was killed in Las Vegas. Also, the president then talking about the story trending about the president's remarks. He spoke to the media last evening about the terror attack. He said that the suspect had posted videos on social media indicating he had been inspired by ISIS, expressed the desire to kill, and the president said while the investigation is ongoing, law enforcement and the intelligence community are looking for connections, associations, or co-conspirators. And he said, I've directed my attorney general, the FBI director, the secretary of Homeland Security, others, he said, and the intelligence community to work on this intensively until we have full and complete information. And the president said, I know while this person committed a terrible assault on the city, the spirit of our New Orleans will never, never, never be defeated. It always will shine forth. We've seen that time and again throughout its history, and I know we'll see it again in the days and weeks ahead, the president said. Donald Trump also made a statement. He referred to this as an act of pure evil. And he said, when I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has ever seen before, Trump said. So he was, I think, like many, he was frustrated and angry about the attack. Also, Donald Trump was asked as to whether he would be at the funeral of former President Jimmy Carter. Now, the death of Jimmy Carter has just really been overshadowed by this attack on Bourbon Street yesterday, because as you can imagine, a horrific attack like that, people being killed, number of others injured, really dominating the news cycle. And so Trump was asked, he was asked about it as he walked into a New Year's Eve party then at Mar-a-Lago. And Trump said, I'll be there. So he was pressed on whether he had spoken to any members of Carter's family. And Donald Trump wouldn't say, said he would rather not talk about that. Other stories trending this morning: a Virginia man was arrested after federal authorities found a cache of homemade explosive devices, some of which were marked as lethal, at his home. And the FBI says this is the largest seizure of finished explosive devices in FBI history. And so the guy was taken into custody actually last month, about mid-month, December 17th, and facing a variety of different charges. Other stories trending this morning. A few sports stories that are trending. Penn State has secured a spot in the CFP semifinal with a 31-14 victory over Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. So it was Penn State. Also, the Dallas Cowboys have released Ezekiel Elliott to provide him an opportunity to they want to give him a chance then at the playoffs, at competing in the playoffs. So Elliott has been released. Also, back to college football, Texas had a thrilling win over Arizona State. So Texas avoiding a huge upset blasts Arizona State 39-31 in double overtime in the Peach Bowl. Also, actor Justin Baldoni has filed a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times this week, claiming the newspaper defamed him and his team when they covered Blake Lively's claim that he had launched a smear campaign against her. So Lively previously had filed the lawsuit against Baldoni for sexual harassment and a number of other charges as well. She was claiming a number of things. She said that Baldoni had executed and participated in a social manipulation campaign to destroy her career and reputation. So now Baldoni is going after the New York Times for pursuing that story. Also, police have charged a 23-year-old man with attempted murder in a New York subway shoving. So he was charged with attempted murder in the second degree, 4 counts of assault, according to a criminal complaint filed by Manhattan prosecutors. So 23-year-old Camille Hawkins arraigned in Manhattan yesterday morning. So his next court date will be on January 6th, which is coming up fast. Also, in a New Year's address, the president of China, Xi Jinping, emphasized resilience and confidence. He cautioned against global uncertainties. And he said the Chinese economy faces some new conditions, including challenges of uncertainties in the external environment and pressure of transformation from old growth drivers. He said, and he blamed Trump for some of this, is saying, and especially with Trump and a change in trade policies and so on. So this is what Xi Jinping, those uncertainties that he's talking about, Donald Trump is the source of those uncertainties. Also, Russia launched more than 100 drones at Ukraine in a New Year's attack. 1 person killed, at least 6 others were injured as Russia launched more than 100 drones in an overnight strike into New Year's Day. So this is New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. And Ukrainian officials saying in war there are no holidays, and for Russia nothing is sacred. It spares no one, killing people even amidst New Year's celebrations, much like we saw in this country with the attack in New Orleans. Also, I'm going to move on. I think I've already shared that story. Meghan Markle is returning to social media. She had taken a 5-year hiatus from social media and Instagram. So now she ushered in the new year by welcoming thousands of fans and followers to her reactivated Instagram page. So she has not been active on Instagram since 2020. That was around the time that she and Prince Harry announced their decision to step back from royal responsibilities. And that's a look at the stories trending this morning in Belf's News Gallery. Great to have you along this morning. 6:55, partly cloudy and 19 currently here at Kello. I want to invite you again, if you're free this morning, to drop by our downtown studios at 13th and Phillips. We're at 500 South Phillips Avenue, directly across the street from Kelloland TV, because the Heroes Behind the Badges blood drive comes to Kello Radio this morning. And we would love to have you make a donation of blood. You can do so until 10 a.m. today. Just stop down to our studios. You can register right in our front office. All of those who donate blood during the event receive a choice of a Heroes t-shirt, free appetizer from Texas Roadhouse, a Hy-Vee certificate, and 2 tickets to a Sioux Falls Skyforce game. So please, plus a warm feeling, I think that you know you're doing the right thing, you're benefiting the community and folks who need your help. So please drop down to our studio sometime between now and 10 a.m. as we participate in the Heroes Behind the Badges blood drive. 6:57 this hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. Brought to you by the Window Shop of Mitchell, offering custom windows starting at $99 a month.
Serving the Sioux Empire with the latest.
Well, thanks so much for being here for the 6 a.m. hour. Hope you'll come back at 9:30 for the 4th hour. Happy New Year, my friend. Thanks for being here.
At Purple Wave Auction, transparency is key. With no reserves and no hidden surprises, you're connected directly